Oh my gosh, I'm live. How is everybody? Welcome. Didn't realize I was live. Wow, okay. I hope you're having a great day. I'm a little late getting on. Hey Angela. Oh my goodness, welcome. I'm a mess right now. Ugh. Anyway, welcome. I'm a little late getting on. This is new, y'all. I'm trying to post every day. Well, I am posting every day, no trying about it. But I have to be ready by 12 o'clock, which is a little early. I know that's not early at all, but it's early for me. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad y'all can join me today. I want to talk about embracing your journey. Um, Being on these spiritual paths, as you both know, Courtney and Angela, you can be called, it's an awakening process. And through life's events and stuff, you reach this point where you start to acknowledge that you have this inner voice, you have the spiritual side of you, and you start to get curious about it. And it takes you down these different paths. And I think it pulls everybody to a degree. But if you are a spiritual person, well, um, it really calls to you and it really makes you curious, and it's this awakening process. And so you start to follow that voice, that guidance, and you can either follow it and be open to it or be resistant. In the end, you will listen to it because it's going to call to you until you do. And circumstances in life are going to change until you do listen to it and follow your guidance. But some people resist it. And I think the resistance comes from many places. It could come from your environment, the people around you. It can come from goals, dreams, and things that were given to you that you're still trying to hold on to. It can come from just an unwillingness to be great, which is born out of fear. It can come from so many different places, but ultimately, you do have to follow that voice and that guidance. You do have to go on that journey. And the circumstances will start to deteriorate around you until you say yes. So, um, we get to this point where we hear these voices and these pullings. It's like we're aware of our spirit and what it wants us to do. And the interesting thing about it is sometimes it can get really bizarre, according to your sensibilities. Yeah, Courtney, isn't that crazy? And you probably have seen the benefit since you started listening, because whenever you're asked to do something, there's actually always little signs that kind of show you that you're doing the right thing or that the guidance that you followed. It's just little things that like confirm what you've been feeling. Yeah, Courtney, and by the time you're finished, you may end up living a life that's totally different than what you like had initially envisioned. So it's funny that that little voice will call you to do bizarre things. And to make matters a little worse, in our society, we don't have much reverence for that. We do, I think at the end, when we see somebody as a success, according to our standards, like they have a lot of money, they have fame, fortune, blah, blah, blah. And at the very end of the journey, absolutely, Angela, because that's your higher self, it's your spiritual guidance, and then your spirit team. Absolutely. So it's like at the very end, when you've achieved your success, and then people are listening to you, like Jim Carrey, and they're like, he says, "Oh, I always had a vision. I wrote a check to myself for this much money. I did this, that, and the third." People are like, "Oh yeah, Jim Carrey, blah 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 blah. He's gifted. He's special. He's blah 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 blah." It's like he was the whole time, but you just didn't want to listen to what he had to say. He told you through his art. But we all have that voice in us and that connection to God. And when I say God, it's not like big man in the sky. It's that God source energy. Hey, April. Oh, my voice. What did it just do? Hey, April. Um, we all have that connection within us. It's the divine spark, and it's a higher self. And when we start to follow the guidance, we will see a benefit, but it may ask us to do things that are very bizarre, um, obnoxious, seemingly obnoxious, bizarre, unorthodox, just things that are not what we would think based on what we know. And we're all raised in a society that values certain things. So it's like, oh, but when you start to embrace your journey, you do see that benefit, just like Angela mentioned and Courtney. And we have to learn to trust ourselves. So that's the great thing about having spiritual friends like my friends that are here. Thank you all so much. And having a community because they can really support you in those decisions. And in the universe also, when you start to embrace your spirit and listen to the messages, it sends people your way. And that some people call that the law of attraction because you're vibrating on a different frequency and like attracts like. So you're going to start drawing people to you that assist you on your journey. And when you start to see them, you know who they are. It's like you've known them forever. So it's like it gets really interesting. You start to see that the separation between dreams or fantasy and reality is not as distinct as you were taught. So embracing your journey means listening to that voice, being open to the different things that come and know that come to you and knowing yeah, I'm so happy, Nicole. Thank you. Um means knowing that things are going to go in the way in life that you have always known. Things are going to be different. It's going to test you to a degree. It's going to pull you out of your comfort zone, but it's going to grow you ultimately. And it's going to take you down some interesting paths. It's going to introduce you to some interesting people and require of you some different things than you're used to giving. Um, and it just gets really fun. So rather than resist, yeah, Courtney, thank you because I did it a slightly different time than I had intended, but thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. And thank you for your all of your enthusiasm and support. Um, it's going to require some different things of you, but like that resistance that we feel, try to push that down as much as possible. And that's easier said than done because let me just speak from anything I say on these videos is all from my perspective. I'm not saying it's the gospel truth, but it's what I know to be true. Um, Depending on your circumstance, you could really be um, brought up to be resistant, or you could have really resistant people around you. And part of embracing your journey, like for me, was understanding that, oh, what the things that I want to do and the feelings that I feel and my opinion, all that stuff, it's all valid, you know? I came from a circumstance where I was made to think, and I also kind of was complicit in thinking that, oh, what I think is not necessarily important. Um, that's just dumb, or this is just like a personal interest, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, like your thoughts are important, whether people around you validate them or not. Whether people feel like they can insert their opinion over yours and try to make you think what they think or not. Like you are the director of your life. You have to be your best friend. You have to be your own advocate. So if there's people in your life who are not allowing that to happen, they're toxic and they have to go. Or you have to call them on it at least and then tell them you are not allowed to do this anymore because we all are in charge of ourselves. Nobody gets to think for you. Nobody gets to tell you what you can and can't do. Nobody knows your story, your background, your experience. We're all experts of our own lives. And so when you start to explore, you may run into opposition from people around you. And that's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because the thing that's wrong is, yes, absolutely, Nicole, setting those boundaries, absolutely. Hello, April. And April can tell you all about that. And yeah, you may run into opposition, but that's a great chance to set those boundaries, as both of them said. And yes, and April, having seen the benefits since you've done that. All right, let me just drop one more little thing, y'all. This video is kind of all over the place, but There's a lot of important things I'm saying here. In life, you can either be empowered or disempowered. When you're empowered, you're tapped into your spiritual higher self. When you're disempowered, you're locked into your man self. Anybody that studies tarot with me, you know the empowered is like any angel card, like the temperance card, judgment, um, strength card, even. That's when you're in touch with your higher self. When you're disempowered, that's when you have that devil on your back. You're locked into the physical body. We all have that divine spark within us, and it's our job to kindle it, you know. And we have the bodies too. They should work in tandem. But um, in life, we should choose to be empowered spiritual beings. Yeah, Courtney, and that's so. I want to hear more about that one day because, yeah, a lot of us are disempowered through religion or any type of dogma, any type of institution. Religion is one of them. So, uh, we need to feel empowered. And if you ever like want to check in with yourself about how you feel about a situation, ask yourself, do I feel empowered or disempowered? Am I honoring who I am or am I dishonoring who I am? So with those people that question you in your life and their loved ones, we're not talking about randoms, we're talking about mom, dad, brother, sister, cousins. um, Say, do I feel empowered or disempowered? And if you feel disempowered, something needs to happen. You need to change that. And it's not that there's anything wrong. It's like they're not evil people for that. They just don't have your vision. And you are in agreement in that relationship when they're treating you that way because you're allowing that to happen. So it's important for you to forgive yourself, to forgive them, and then let them know, vocalize, like, look, you're doing this. It's not okay. You didn't know it before because I never told you, but now I'm telling you. And when you do this in the future, I'm going to let you know this is unacceptable. And that's what a boundary is, Angela and April. So when you realize that, going ahead and state that. I've done that in my life. And when people care enough about you and they trust you enough and blah, 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 they will eventually check their own behavior. And it unleashes this really interesting thing because we all are all each other's mirrors and we all our energies are all intermingled. When you start to do your healing work and heal yourself and advocate for yourself, it kind of allows them to heal themselves because they're locked into this paradigm too where they think, oh, this is the way things are, this is the way we have to operate, blah, blah, blah. But when you start doing things that are out of the box, a little different, it kind of gives them permission to do things that are out of the box. And you're showing them something that they haven't really seen before. So when they see that, and they see you thriving, you living well, you pursuing your dreams, it gives them permission to do that. And it unleashes this whole like domino effect of healing. So, once again, embrace your journey because when we all, hey Tiffany, what's up? Yay, I'm so glad y'all here. Yes, the musical mood ring, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the baddest bitch of all? Yes, there's nothing wrong with a mirror that talks back. People like they don't get it otherwise. You have to share that with them, you know. And that's all of us doing our work. Yes, I love it, April. We all have to do our work, you know. That's one of the gifts of us doing our work. Um, so embrace your journey, be open, know that you're going to be doing things that are bizarre, that are unexpected. And when you get so good at trusting your guidance, you can do some even greater things. It's not just the little things, it's the big things. Y'all know my story. Recently, I quit my job on the spot so I can pursue my goal. And at the time, it was crazy. It was like outlandish, but it kind of was the perfect thing because I wouldn't have the time to do these things like, you know, broadcast every day at 12 o'clock, talk to you all, my friends, about topics that matter to me, you know, do my calling, which is reading tarot and all the spiritual stuff. I wouldn't have the time to do it. I would be drained working for somebody else, doing what I think I had to do, which I really don't, which is lending my energy, my time, my personality, my charm, my unique gifts to building this corporation that really doesn't care about me at all. They may say it, but their actions show they do not care about me at all. So devoting all my time to that and making them money when I could be doing that for myself. So we have to really just like get our priorities straight. And at the time, y'all, when you do these things, they seem like exactly like they'll replace you tomorrow. They'll fire you. We need you. Oh, Courtney, you're so sweet. Um, but devoting my life to that, and then if I can living my life on the weekends or in my spare time, that's not the way we're designed to operate. Um, and yeah, Angela, you devote all this time, all this effort, all your resources, sacrifice into this job, and then they just toss you in the can. It's like, oh, thanks, you're no longer needed. Next, because you really don't matter, then you're a cog in the wheel, and it's like we're greater than that. So to fall for that illusion is devastating. Like a lot of us fall for that. But at the time when you're asked to make these leaps of faith or do these things that are so out of the box, they seem like so major. But when you look back on it, it's like, oh, those decisions weren't really that major at all. Like they seem like it at the time because of where you were in your life. But like looking back, it's like, oh, of course I did that. Because if I wanted to do this, I had to do that. It was just like the logical step. And then like we look at things from one point of view, like we're looking from here into the future and we're really concerned about like what may happen. But y'all, a little secret about time is not linear like that. Time is all occurring all at once. So you got to be able to, through your creative visualization and through just knowing who you are on a spiritual level, not this physical body, but the spirit, which is higher, it's like the bird's eye view, you can sort of tap into who you're going to become, understand that's already happening right now, and then look back on your life, look back to where you are right now, and say, oh, of course, like you have to quit your job. Like if you're ever going to get where you need to be, you have to do that and it's all going to work out, so trusting is another thing, trusting your spirit, your vision, your guidance, and then making it happen. When you get an idea, we're sort of designed because we're conditioned in society right now to sort of not listen to the inner guidance, to listen to the guidance, which is go to get a job, go to work hard, you'll get promoted, you'll have security, you can pay for things, go on trips, go to the movies, this, that, and the third, and that's a full life. As long as you just can vacation regularly, go to the movies when you want, you can go shopping whenever you want. Um, and you have a good job, that's when you're really living life. Y'all, that's not life. That is other things. I won't even tell y'all what that is. But when you can shed that and listen to your guidance and trust that, you'll find that doors open for you and the magic can happen. Absolutely, Courtney, like freedom. Yes, Angela said we are greater than being a brick in the wall. Absolutely. We're not just cogs in a wheel. April said, well, that's so funny. We are the wheel. Exactly. So, it's crazy waking up every day and being like, what am I going to do today? I have the freedom to choose what I'm going to do with my day. And I can be open to whatever guidance I receive. And I've been doing that in the groups. I got guidance to start this money manifestation group. My personal thought was like, am I ready for that? Like, I just started these other things, but my guidance said do it. So I'm doing it. And it's going to be amazing. Um, So yeah, y'all, and just embrace your journey. I could talk on and on and on and on about it, like, and I will later on. But just know that like your journey is going to ask things of you, which at the time they may seem so crazy. They're not crazy. Trust your guidance. Start with empowerment, you all. Know that you are special and your time here is special. You have the God spark, the divine spark within you. You are a reflection of God. So that means you have that omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. You have that power all within you. And you can tap into that anytime. Anytime that somebody makes you feel like you don't have that, that's called disempowerment. Reject that. We need to be empowered individuals. And that means when you receive guidance, you act on it. When you act on it, great things, great doors will open unto you. Things will unfold. Life will feel more like a journey. It'll feel like a movie sometimes. You like you won't believe the things that'll happen. And anybody that disempowers you in life, find ways to prevent that, you know. At first, just inform them and letting them know that that's not acceptable behavior and you will not tolerate it anymore. They're forgiven for the past because they didn't know. You forgive yourself because you allowed it. But in the future, it's your job to advocate for yourself, to put them in check, and to not allow them to cross that boundary again. If they don't adhere to that, then you need to push them out of your life because that's not going to work for the new being, okay? And then just find ways to follow that guidance and be open to your journey. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be anything nasty because you don't want to get embroiled with somebody and then you have haters and then it's like a whole thing. No, just kindly let them know that's unacceptable. And if they choose to allow the new person to come forth, great for them because they don't have to choose that. You can't control people in your life. You can only control yourself. If they choose to jump on board, great. If they don't choose, you kindly move them out of your life. Don't even make a scene because that's not going to work with you and your new empowered self. Be open to the journey. Wonderful things will unfold, doors will open to you, and you can be in alignment with you and your highest calling. Right, don't let them lower your vibration. Absolutely, Courtney. And it's just buckle up for a wonderful journey because life truly is magical. It's amazing. There's all kinds of things that go on behind the scenes that are not discussed, but as you start to explore, you're going to uncover them, and it's pretty awesome. So that's all I have. Absolutely, April. It's not any of their business. You know, if you ask people for their advice, then they're welcome to share. And just understand it's just that their opinion. It's not the law, you know. And anybody that tries to offer their opinion to you unsolicited, no, thank you. No, thank you. Because why would they even think that they can do that? Your life is yours. You've experienced it through your lens, and it's your truth. So if something works for them, that's great that it works for them. And it's wonderful that they share that, but that does not mean it's what you should follow. You know, people are gonna be haters. That's just a part of life. And they can do it loudly too, but don't think that it will go unchecked or that it's okay. What do y'all think about all of that? Have y'all experienced any of the stuff I just talked about? For me, every day, it's like learning to embrace the journey. Yeah, absolutely, Angela. Like, that's a big one because we're taught to seek validation outside of ourselves. You know, you need this degree. You need good credit. You need my approval. You need this, that, and the third. You don't need any of that shit. You know, it's all, no, you don't need any of that. You need to be okay with you. Do you like yourself? Are you your own best friend? Are you your biggest advocate? That's what's important. Do you know who you are? The old maxim, know thyself. I've come to learn that's something that's never really like answered with one answer. That's something you'll constantly be finding answers to all throughout your life. And that's how you really start to know yourself on the spiritual journey and learn the deep mysteries and secrets. Know thyself. Who am I? It's constantly evolving. Oh, thank you, Courtney. I'm so glad that you're a part of it. You've really energized it in your own unique way. And yeah, it's that group has been major for me, you all. It's just great having a community of people. And I try to establish it because I don't want to just be like me teaching, although it is my corner. I love like being the administrator and moderating and stuff, but it's like not just me teaching, but it's like a community for sharing everybody's experiences. I love it. With tarot, by the way, which hopefully everybody that's been a part of it, you've gained a completely new respect for tarot and a respect that you probably didn't even know when you started working with it. That's really one of my objectives. And the money group will be really interesting to see how that unfolds as well. And I know y'all have requested the magic group, so at some point we'll start that up too. So thank you for all your suggestions and your continued support, really. All right, everybody. Yeah, like, do you see the growth, April? I see the growth, and it's just like astounding, especially with you, April. Yeah. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. It's been an awesome pleasure having you all. Thank you for joining me, and we'll be back tomorrow.